We need to follow our fear. And I love this thing, because we would normally say, like, follow your truth or something positive or meaningful. Like, following your fear is so important, because this is when we rediscover ourselves. When we go to the edge of what we understand about ourselves, we find that there's just more of us. It's not like suddenly there is no Rian left to discover. You go to the edge and there's always going to be more, and you get to explore yourself. Sometimes the easiest way to explore ourselves is in tandem or in collaboration with someone else. And the way in which we do that is by answering the following question. Do you feel like you can talk about your fears with your employer? Do you feel like you can talk about your fears with your team? These are important stepping stones to understanding how vulnerable you allow yourself to be at work. And if you aren't comfortable with your employees or your team members coming to you and asking you those kind of questions, you need to ask yourself whether or not you are harnessing their true potential. When we're able to have true, meaningful, vulnerable conversations at work without taking offense, with compassion, with understanding, with a want of the other person to feel comfortable and at home, when that becomes possible, everything about that person comes alive. Because what you're saying to that person is, all of you is welcome. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to change to be able to work with us. We all want to feel chosen. It's still school in many ways. We all want to be in the play, we all want to be in the team, we all want to be in the friendship group, we all want to feel accepted and included. What we don't want is to feel that we are included, but that we are not welcome. In other words, it almost is the equivalent of your mom saying, "Go play with Billy." No, you must go play with Billy. And you don't really want to go play with Billy, but you're playing with Billy because your mom told you to. That same thing carries on for the rest of your life, where sometimes you are allowing people into your space or into your workspace who actually you don't particularly like. I promise you that they know. And possibly the reason why you don't feel like you like them is because you haven't made the effort to get to know them, to find common ground, and to allow that person to be themselves, or for you to allow yourself to be yourself with them. This is acceptance, this is inclusion, this is the point of being able to harness the best of other people and ourselves. One of the things that I find fascinating is that when I ask someone, are you comfortable at work? They'll say, yeah. I'm like, okay, when last did you talk to your boss about this and this and this that I know is going on in their life? Go, why would I tell my boss that? It is incredibly important for us to feel like there is a sense of empathy for who we are, what we are going through, and what challenges we are facing at work and outside. Why? Because we spend a third of our life at work. If we are not happy at work, we bring that unhappiness home. If we are not happy at home, we bring that unhappiness into work. There is no separation. If you want a little bit more info, there's an entire video that I did on this. We need to start looking at ourselves holistically. There is no separation, and if that's true, we need to start building environments that allows for our complexity, that compassionately wants to hear each other out, and that the stories and the parts of us that makes us incredible, that might not be necessary or professional, or all these ideas that we have that really box and roboticize our individuality, shouldn't be allowed anymore, because it's not conducive to what we actually want. We actually have robots now. There's no reason to be treating people like they are robots. We need to start celebrating the parts of our humanity that are absolutely irreplaceable. And part of that is what makes us afraid. Part of that is talking about who we are, what we want for ourselves, what we're struggling with, the real stuff in our lives. There gets to be space for that at work, or else everyone feels absolutely isolated. There's no sense of empathy, there's no sense of team, there's no sense of collaboration. Everyone is doing what they have to do instead of what they want to do. And the only way that you get someone to do what you want them to do is by allowing them to be who they are and to encourage that and celebrate that. That's the point. That's how we build happy spaces at work. Our fears lead us into endless opportunity and possibility that we might never otherwise be able to harness or celebrate. Our creativity lies in the parts of us that we never want to happen again, the parts of our story that we never want to happen again, but also in the fantasy world of what we don't want to happen right now. Understanding what we don't want is a fantastic way to understand the world that we wish we lived in and that the world that we really want and the value that we wish we could give. This is true for everyone. But it's lost if we do not encourage and appreciate the bravery of people who are ready to go there and to go into those spaces and to share the parts of their story that they wouldn't normally talk about. That's when an environment becomes family. That's when an environment becomes creative and strong. That's what we want from our teams. That's what we want from ourselves. We need to learn to encourage this in ourselves, and for our teams.